I will remain here and bring others here too, under the canopy of protection.
Om Shanti, everybody. Good evening and welcome to another Monday Insight session. Looks like October has been a season of different festivities and different occasions and memorials. So we are also dedicating today's Insight session on exploring what are the spiritual significance, the understanding of the festival which is celebrated by the name of Dashera or Vijayadashmi. So last Monday, we were exploring some of the aspects of Navratri. We didn't finish. I think we did 4 or some 4 powers, the 4 forms of Durga. But now, today, let's understand what is Dashera. So many of you might have heard this name. Anybody has heard about it? About this festival called Vijayadashmi or Dashera? So following the 9 nights of Navratri, so it concludes on the 10th day, which is celebrated as Dashera or Vijayadashmi. Now, just look at the word Dashera. Dash means 10, and Hara means to remove, or it's been destroyed. So what is it? What are the 10 things that gets removed or destroyed? Also on this day, of course, there is a celebration of victory. Vijay means victory. On the 10th day, there's victory. Victory over what? Victory, who is gaining victory over whom and how? So in the world, in Bharat and many parts, sure it happens in Guyana as well, they create an effigy of a demon called Ravan. And this is not an ordinary demon, an ordinary negative that is shown, but it is a personification of like the king of all demons, if you can think of, who has 10 heads. Yeah. And they don't just create his effigy, they also create 2 more effigies. And one is of Kumbhakaran, and there is another effigy called Meghnad. Now, and what they do after creating an effigy, why would you create an effigy of a demon? It's not that they're going to celebrate, but they create this and they burn it with firecrackers. So what is the need that I need to burn this demon? And apparently every year, the size of the demon, Ravan, grows bigger, larger and larger. If we have already burnt it last year, why do we need to burn him again? And if we have already burnt him, he should have started from like a little baby, but he's shown to have grown in size and larger in size. So what are all of these things talking to us about? Is there anything that I can learn, or I need to connect some dots? Is there a message in it that I need to understand? It's something that we will explore today. Yeah. So on in the mythological story, there is an epic called Ramayana. It's a story and it's an epic, right? So like any story, there is a hero and there is a villain. Now the hero is called Sri Ram. He's the personification of all virtues. And there is a demon, there is a negative character, the villain, who's called as Ravan. So the Rav, and they both have their equal strength. They show in the story that Ravan was very learned, like a scholar. He was a great devotee of a God who was called Shiva, and he was given a lot of boons. So he was a king. He had his own kingdom, right? And very learned, very educated,
And wealthy also.
very wealthy also, like everything. But with all the goodness, if it gets into your head, they say it got into your head. So there were some vices as well. And when he got a boon that he can't be killed or something of that sort, so then came the arrogance that I am better, I am the best. So that's one character of negativity. And the personification of virtue is Sri Ram. Now, this is depicting, we can look at it as God, the supreme being who has all the virtues, all the powers, all the goodness. Yeah? So there is a third character that we also need to understand, and her name, we call it her name is Sita. In the mythological story, there's a character called Sita. And in the stories, Ram and Sita are supposed to be husband and wife. Now here, Sita refers to the soul of the being that we all are. And as long as we're in the company of the divine, Sri Ram, we're very protected. The soul feels very secure, has everything. Whatever the soul needs, I'm getting it from the divine. I'm just trying to give you the spiritual aspect of it so you can make some connections. But the story goes that Ram and Sita are in a forest. They are staying in a forest, and she gets attracted to a golden deer. It's not any ordinary deer. There's a golden deer. And she tells to Sri Ram that I want that golden deer. Now, okay, so to fulfill the wish of his wife, he goes to bring the golden deer, and he hasn't returned for a long time. And with them, Ram's brother, who's called Lakshman, is also present. And now Sita gets worried. It's like, where is my husband Ram? Doesn't seem to return with the golden deer. So she sends him. But Lakshman was kept there to protect Sita, and he didn't want to leave her alone. So what he does, he draws 3 lines across the hut, around the hut where she was staying. He draws a line, and it is called Lakshman Rekha, the line of Lakshman. And he says, as long as you stay within that line, nothing can harm you. Nobody can touch you. Nothing will happen to you. You're safe. But the moment you cross the line, there's nothing that I can do to protect you. Yeah. So this is the understanding. She says, okay, I will stay within the line and you go. So Lakshman goes. Anyway, they go. So now the demon, the Ravan, the king Ravan, is attracted to the beauty of Sita, and he wants to kidnap her, he wants to make her his wife. But Ravan comes to the forest, to the village, to the hut, and he realizes he can't cross the line, gets kind of burnt. So he disguises himself as a Brahmin priest, and not like any ordinary priest, like a beggar. No, he's come here to asking for something. And he starts to ask, he starts to ask for offerings from Sita. He's disguised. Now, Sita, because of her compassionate heart, her merciful heart, she wants to give some offering, but she stays within the line and gives. And he doesn't like that. And he says, this is like an insult. You're not coming out of your space and giving me the offering. So again, because of respect to this Brahmin deity, a Brahmin priest, so what she does, she crosses the line. And as soon as she crosses the line, the priest, the form of the Brahmin priest, he goes back to his original form of being the Ravan, the demon Ravan, and kidnaps her. And she's taken to a cottage. It's called Shok Vatika, the cottage of sorrow. Anyway, just trying to make it short and sweet. Let's see how far we can go. And now Sita is in the captivity of this demon and has to be liberated from this demon called Ravan. And how does he do that? So Ram sends one of his devotee called Hanuman. He's like the monkey god you might have seen. And he can't bring her back. He sends some other people, can't win him. And then so Ram goes for a fight against Ravan. And Ravan, because of his arrogance, he sends others. He'll send his brother Kumbhakaran, he sends his other assistant called Meghnad. He's like, no one can defeat me. I cannot be defeated by anyone. So he stays back and sends these people to get defeated. To defeat Ram. But ultimately what happens? They get killed. Kumbhakaran is killed and Meghnad is killed. And ultimately, Ravan has to face Ram. And Ram, with the story, he uses his archery, bow and arrow, and he tries to cut off one head at a time because he has 10 heads. He's a big demon, he has 10 heads. So he cuts off one head, the one head falls down, goes back and sticks again. Another head falls down, goes back and sticks again. So he's like, how am I going to kill this demon now? And the only way this demon could be killed is when the arrow hits the navel, where the heads were getting fed. They're getting fed by food, the food for the head. And when the arrow hit the navel is when the demon died. Now, what does all of this have to do with me today? Why do I have to know? If he was a demon of Ram and Sita, why do we create an effigy of Ravan and burn them today? And why do we celebrate about it? And why is he increasing every year? I was just telling you the characters symbolizing. Now Sita symbolizing me, the soul. Is symbolizing me, the soul. Yeah. And I, the soul, I'm very safe as long as I'm in connection and relation with the divine. And the lines which were drawn by Lakshman, the word Lakshman, Laksh means aim. When I stay with my aim and I stay within the line of code of conduct, the principles of spirituality, when I stay within that, the divine conduct of spirituality, I stay safe. But the moment I break that line, the moment I cross that line, I am vulnerable. I'm vulnerable to be exposed to different kinds of vices of today. Now, what is Ravan? Now, the 10 heads of Ravan represents the 5 major, you say it as the 5 heads of man and the 5 heads of women. So it's not like man and women, but it is the gross vices and the subtle vices. Now, the gross vices are, we say it as Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. This is ego, anger, lust, attachment, and greed. So these are the gross forms. And the feminine or the subtle forms, which is not very, very visible, jealousy, carelessness, laziness, fear, hatred. And they have their own children and grandchildren. But just take a moment and ask myself, do I have any of these weaknesses or vices within me? Was it in Ravan, in a demon whom we make an effigy? Or is it even still present? Even in traces, may not be, we might not have 100% of all of it. Even if there is a drop of it, even if there is a trace of it, we say there is a trace. Even, they say take a pot of nectar, and if you put 1 drop of poison, will you still call it as a nectar? No, it becomes poisonous. So similarly, do I have any trace of that? And if I have any trace of these negativity or vices within me, so then there is Ravan within me. So is it okay to say Ravan is omnipresent? Would you agree? Is Ravan present in everyone? Whether it is irrespective of gender, irrespective of nationality, irrespective of caste, ethnicity, profession, possession, Ravan is prevalent everywhere. How do we know that? Just look at the statistics of crime rates. Just look at the statistics of the increase in mental health disorders. Just look at the number of fights and war that is going on in the world, the number of divorces that happen, the number of domestic violence, different kinds of abuses that gets reported in the world. Is Ravan increasing in size? Is the negativity increasing, or do we say negativity is decreasing? So symbolizes, since the negativity is increasing, and that is symbolized as they show Ravan's size increasing every year. Now, how do I take care of the Ravan? Okay, one is to identify, yes, I have this Ravan. Now, how do I overcome him? I'm a Sita and there's this big Ravan, demon with 10 heads. If I can take care of one head, would be good. But I have to take care of this 10 heads and their grandkids. How can I, the story said it was, the arrow was hit at the navel where he was getting fed. So how do I get rid of the Ravan? Where is it that I can hit him? Anybody wants to share? Anybody on Zoom? Want to take a guess? How can we get rid of the Ravan within? No guesses? Which is okay. We'll just continue our journey. So there is a saying in English, wherever your attention goes, energy will flow. And wherever the energy flows, things will grow. Now, where is my attention going? Wherever my attention goes, energy will flow. Now here, my attention could be, whether it is any of the vices, means am I using it? The more I use it, say suppose I'm using my muscle again and again and again, what will happen to the muscle size? It'll grow. You will develop a six-pack muscle. And if I don't use it, it'll become thin. If somebody has paralysis or anything, I can't move those hands, it'll get thin and it's called disuse atrophy. So similarly, any vice, any negativity, any weakness, any defect, when I use it, that means I'm feeding it. When I use it, that means I'm becoming subservient to it. Whether it is anger, whether it is irritation, whether it is ego, whether it is greed, any of those things, the more I use it, I'm becoming subservient to it. You say, oh, without raising the voice, things can't get done. I say, don't listen. We don't raise our voice. So I'm becoming subservient to it. So if I have to kill Ravan, the one and only, the root cause of all of these vices is what we call in Raj Yoga, and that is called body consciousness, which is nothing but attachment to a wrong identity. It goes back to our attachment to the identities, wrong identity, whether it is the name, form, shape, possession, position, any of the labels that we carry, any of the hats that we wear, any of the masks that we are wearing, any of the roles that we play. If I am identifying myself to any of those things, that means I have attachment. That means I have ego, attachment to a wrong identity. Now, what does this mean? Sounds very hi-fi. It just means that if I'm attached to understanding, believing that I'm a female, am I a female or not? Am I a female or not? So in spirituality, you understand I'm an energy in a female body. Just like an actor will take different costumes. Someone would get dressed up as a Mickey Mouse, and someone would be in a costume of Donald Duck. But are they Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse? They'll say, no, I'm playing the role of a Donald Duck. I'm playing the role of a Mickey Mouse. I'm wearing Mickey Mouse costume. I'm wearing a dress costume of Cinderella. But doesn't mean that I am it, right? So identifying means I start to believe this body is me. I start to believe if I'm not this body, I'm ageless. I'm not young, old. I'm not male or female. I'm not thin or fat. I'm not short or tall. I'm not black, brown, blue, yellow. So all of those labels attached to the body drops. Body consciousness means attachment, believing that I am these things. We hear the word soul so much, but I need to also know who I am and who I am not. I said, yeah, I know I'm a soul, but I also believe that I'm young, I'm old, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm beautiful, I'm ugly, I'm a professional, I'm an illiterate, different things. So when we drop those things is when you come to the true awareness of who you are. Now, we said don't feed Ravan, means don't use those virtues. Okay, I will not use it. So what else do I use? When we are used to and say, okay, I let go of this. I'm going to let go of anger. I'm going to let go of ego. When you're letting go of something, there's a little vacuum, kind of. So what we understand in Raj Yoga is you don't have to let go. There is nothing called as darkness. It is absence of light. There is nothing called as cold. It is absence of heat. There is nothing called as anger. It is absence of your virtues. It's like anemia, right? So anemia is deficiency of iron. So when I consume iron, I'll get back, my blood count goes up. So similarly, when I start to use my virtues, whether it is peace, whether it is love, whether the 7 virtues of the soul, the DNA of the soul, the inherent values of the soul, you become stronger inside. So then the deficiencies are lost. I don't need to fill each one. I don't need to work on cutting off each head. Start infusing the goodness. Now, how do I do that? Now, how do I win over the vices and the demons within me? First step, determination. Determination to do what? Determination in what? Determination that I'm not going to use Ravan. I'm not going to succumb to use these shortcuts. Growing up in Delhi, I think, there's an old museum of the Brahma Kumaris, and there was a picture. And the picture, it was a painting, old painting. And there is a person in the office, and somebody is offering bribery to, corruption. They give bribe. And this person, the officer, is a family man. He says, no. I'm a family person. I can't take this. This is decades ago. And then they show another picture, current man. Again, it's an office scenario, and somebody is offering that person bribe. And he nicely takes it. He says, hey, I'm a family man. That's why I'm taking it. Previously, he didn't take, thinking I'm a family man. Why? There was the understanding of karma. The source of money that is coming home. If it is coming from any kind of negativity, it is going to bring home negativity to everyone in the house. But in the current time, we go in the shortcut. I'm a family man. I have a family. I need to meet my ends. So I need to take bribery. The concept of the effect of karma, the concept of that negative action on the family is compromised. That means I cross the line. Sita crossed the line. I don't uphold the ethnic values, moral values, and succumb to attraction. Maybe the person decades ago was just happy with a simple meal, with a simple life, with a simple clothing. And maybe these days, we want the latest We want the best. We want more and more. I remember growing up, we were given everybody would get pocket money, and you would have your piggy bank, and you will save. You will save, and you will plan accordingly and buy whatever it is. But these days, it's a different scenario. We had to really earn it, and nowadays there's a lot of shortcuts. So, well, it is good to. It's not that we shouldn't be giving resources to our children, but also instilling the value of this moral values, the ethical values as well. Shortcuts are not the. It might be good, easy now, but in the long term, long run, there are consequences to it. I'm not going to make our next generation strong from within. If they're just used to success, and when there is a fall, am I able to pass through those falls with a smile as well? So I need to prepare myself and the next generation, whether it's up or down. It is okay. It is all part of the journey. It is the part of the scenes of the drama. So determination that I will not cross the line. I will stay within the line. The 9 nights of Navratri, which had happened last week, it was a way of having a determined thought. Determined thought for in the path of devotion. They would say, hey, listen, I am not going to be eating non-vegetarian food. I'm going to eat sattvic food, pure food, which is prepared in the remembrance of God. No onion, no garlic, no illicit drugs, alcohol. I'm going to abstain from that. There was a discipline. There was discipline followed. Here also, to overcome the demon within me, I need to discipline myself. It is not that, okay, I can speak what I want, I can think what I want, I will do what I want. I need to discipline it and say, oh, I didn't mean to say it, I said it. I didn't mean to do it, I did it. In our discourse on Sunday, there was a saying, if you said it, or if you did it, you had that, the 2 words were bhav and bhavna. Means there was some root feeling inside, and that manifested. It just doesn't happen. There is some seed within. So similarly, so discipline. And here, discipline is, of course, if you have done the course of the Raj Yoga or exposed, we do our meditations in the morning. We have our discourses during the day. We have our evening meditation. There is a lifestyle that is followed. One is a physical lifestyle, another is a spiritual lifestyle. I discipline myself to think positive, no matter what. I don't remember using a curse word for decades now. To an extent, when I used to be working at Einstein, there'll be this students who are fellows who are doing their post-graduations. And if they wanted to make even a silly joke, they'll say, Kinnari, just go take a walk. They didn't even want to talk something silly in front of me. They say, just go take a walk. So that, and they knew that it's not something appropriate that I would like to hear or would be good to talk. So why? I never told them, don't speak like this or anything. They pick it up. They pick it up themselves. So similarly, I need to discipline. And it is not impossible. Now, when somebody is going for an Olympic race, they don't prepare themselves with discipline? They wake up early, they would go to work, and they still take time for their practice. They practice for hours and hours of practice. So this also is a marathon. It's not that in one day I will win over this demon, because it's a big demon. I need to work. I need to build my muscle. I need to build my capacity, my stamina. And that will happen with discipline. Like constantly, I need to practice. Practice what? 4th, meditation. Connection to the source, Ram. It is not the Ram who had a bow and an arrow or who was the king. But here, Ram is the personification of God, the divine, the supreme. You see the point of light behind me? So we all are points of light, the children of the divine, who is the ocean of all powers. Call him as Almighty Authority. as is your company, we get colored by it. So stay in the company of the truth. Stay in the company of the divine. I get colored by it. We are known by our company. So if I am in the company of the divine, what colors will come on to me? Goodness. If you were in a company of somebody who's mean all the time, day in, day out, somewhere it'll stick, how much ever you try to avoid. So company, stay in the company, take that strength, take that power, plug in, and you'll build your muscle capacity. So determination, discipline, dedication, and meditation. So these are some things which will build your capacity within to burn the demon, to hit the navel that you don't feed. No matter what, I will not use a negative virtue, not a virtue, negative vice, weakness, or a defect. Any questions, any thoughts so far? Anybody wants to say something or ask? Anybody? No? So we continue? So we just don't have Ravan, right? Because we also said there is someone called Kumbhakaran and also Meghnad. So who are these nice characters who join this team of Ravan? So this Kumbhakaran, if you Google, is a very interesting character. He was very super. Huh?
Symbol of lust.
So he's a symbol of lust. Her nose. Acha. I don't know the whole story, but I will invite you to share the story of that, and they'll probably take benefit from it. So anyway, Kumbhakaran is the brother of Ravan. He was supposed to be a big, fat and big. He would eat and sleep. That's all he did. He would sleep for 6 months. He would be awake for 6 months. And to wake him up in between was a task of close to impossibility. And they had to, when they had to wake him up to fight against Ram, Ravan had to send his army, and they had to hit him, poke him with weapons and things like that. Bring so much of food so that even at the fragrance of it, he would wake up. Now ask yourself, am I sleeping like Kumbhakaran? I mean, not sleeping like that, but am I sleeping in ignorance? Am I sleeping, postponing? Let me finish this exam, then I will win over Ravan. Let me get a big house, and then I will win over my Ravan. Let me do this, and I keep postponing. I really don't have time. That's a big thing that we always get to hear. Invite anyone for any session or meditation. Say, sister, I'll get a big paragraph of things that they have to do and where there is no time for them to come. I'm sure everyone is busy. I'm sure we have a lot on our plate. I'm sure transportation is a challenge, but there's always time for yourself. Even the effort that you're making to join online and listen, you're making time. Wake up, awakening. Not just a physical awakening, but awakening to the true awareness of who you are, whose child you are, purpose, Lakshman, Lakshya. What is the purpose of our life? Is it just to eat and sleep and recreate? What else? What is the purpose? Sit with yourself and ask, what is the purpose of your life? Even birds and animals, they wake up, they have a family, and they sleep, and they bring their food. And what else can we add to our world? What else can we leave for our community, our brothers and sisters of the world? What legacy can we leave behind? Not name and fame. Oh, another picture. Not that way. What did we contribute to the world? Every moment. So that is something, Kumbhakaran. We have to wake up. In the mythological story, Ram has an army. Ram has an army. You know who the army was? Anybody knows who was Ram's army? And we would laugh. Anybody who knows who is Ram's army?
Monkeys.
Yes, who said that? Come, Laban. Yes, monkeys. He had an army of monkeys. Can you imagine God having an army of monkeys? You know who those monkeys are? And here again, the monkeys are depicted as human beings. Because a monkey is known to have a lot of vices, all the vices, whether it's attachment, greed, ego, anger, lust, everything. So humans are depicted as those monkeys. So here God changes us monkeys into divine beings. So that is the journey of this Ramayana, where this transformation happens. Ordinary, we look ordinary, we are all simple beings, but we can overcome. It is not just the Ravan that is getting burnt out there, but the Ravan within gets burnt. From that monkeyness, you invoke the divinity within, the true Sita, the true Sita of true Ram who stays within the line. So can we do that? Can we celebrate the true Dashera? Not just by being happy, hey, Ram won, but we won. And it can't be just done in one day. We need consistent effort, consistent attention to stay awake, not to sleep like Kumbhakaran, but stay awake. Eat well, sleep well, but stay awake here to the right awareness, to your aim. Just going to take a pause here to see if anybody has any questions or any comments to add. And Brother Kaushik, you want to say something?
Covered
You want to say something? Anybody on Zoom land would like to share? Will you? Brother Kaushik is going to share. So you want to sit here? You want to sit here? All right, let's share this. Yes.
In the Ramayana, two characters very interesting. The brother of Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishan. So, sister, everything is she told about the Kumbhakarna, because Sri Ram, that means Almighty, has already come and informed us about the what will going to happen. So, who is take the knowledge for understand, because each and every religion there are commandments. 10 commandments in Christianity or in the Muslims. There are also in Quran, everything is said, what is you to do, what is not to be do. But people are not understanding. That those people are symbol of Kumbhakarna. So when we understand, see, the lots of knowledge pour into our ear, but people are not getting inside. And they are not grasping the things, what to do or what not to do. So this is it is very clear by Sister Singh.
So what you're trying to emphasize is just don't listen, but imbibe
Yes,
it.
imbibe.
It is there, but we really need to think and how do I integrate it in my life,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So just don't listen and leave it. Take it in.
And the Vibhishan is directly connected with the God. So he is a brother of Ravan. He is a brother of Ravan, but he goes to the other party. That means he in the favor of Sri Ram. And she informed Ram that Ravan will kill only if you go there to his navel.
So he tells the
He
secret.
tells secret. So
So irrespective of which party, which family,
Yeah.
once you recognize, you support the truth.
truth. So these are the two very interesting characters. And all characters symbolize the vices.
Kaushik Bhai, does it mean that also, like these days, we might have friends, family members who might be doing wrong,
Yeah.
right? Whether lying, whether it's cheating, whether it's gambling, we
Yeah.
know all of that. As you said, brother of Ravan. So instead of supporting that, I take the path of
Correct.
truth.
Truth. Exactly. So we can save him, the soul, because he's doing the wrong karma. So he doesn't know what the consequence of the deed he is doing. Means it is accumulating his sins.
Yeah.
So we have to be a
And that
mercy on that.
requires courage, because otherwise there'll be compassion. Oh, my brother, my
Yeah.
son is, and I can cover it.
Mm.
But to take it needs courage to go against the tide, against your.
Yeah.
But again, that's what you're supporting, the truth.
Okay.
No, anything else you wanted to add?
Not only Suparnaka, the sister of another
Ah.
demon Ravan.
These are all
It's a
interesting
very interesting
stories,
character.
isn't
And
it?
stories.
Story
Yeah,
that you
see,
have to tell us.
You have to tell the story.
yeah. The Suparnaka she's a sister of Ravan.
So we
And
heard about son of Ravan, brother of Ravan, there's a sister of
the
Ravan.
sister of Ravan say attracted Lakshman. Now Lakshman story is when this brother, see that there's a brotherhood between the Rama, Bharat, Shatrugna, there are four brothers. When only Ram is to go to the jungle for the
Exile.
exile, but the brother Lakshman, he was so committed to brother. He also told, I also will come with you to take care of you and Mata Sita. So he accompanied with them, and the Suparnaka, the
Who's
sister of
attracted to Lakshman.
Ravan, she attracted to the Lakshman because he's a nice guy, so I should marry with him. So she goes to the Lakshman and asks him, I want to marry with you. But Lakshman was very pious and he is very committed to his wife Sumitra. So he told to go away from my side, otherwise I will kill you. But even though she was behind him, so what Lakshman has done, he has cut his
Nose.
nose. He's cut his nose. And so it's become more ugly. So Baba says, Almighty says in all scriptures and everything we are guiding us. We should not do anything wrong which we insulted us. They defame us. But if we don't understand and we are going behind that, because we are not soul conscious and we are not knowing the consequence of whatever we are doing. So we are behind that. So that's why it is symbol that our neck will be cut.
Nose.
The nose will be cut. So that is we will defame.
Mm.
So this is a
Correct.
symbol of.
So it's when the nose is cut, it symbolizes your honor is
dishonor.
yeah, your honor is compromised,
Hmm.
your dignity is compromised. Say you bring shame to the family or to the clan. So never do any act which brings where your honor and dignity of the clan is reduced. That's what it means. It symbolizes that. Very interesting story.
Yeah. And
Wow.
the golden beer, it's for marriage.
Deer, golden deer.
Golden deer,
Maya.
Maya.
What are the golden deers these days? Do we have any golden
everything
deers?
around us, everything is golden deer.
No.
See, what will attract away from the remembrance of goodness of God. So it is all a golden deer only. Because the golden deer is only Maya. It is not actually, it is a
Maya means illusion.
illusion.
What is
Everything is
illusion?
illusion.
It appears to be, but it isn't. So even in these days, what is our illusion, which attracts us? Or it looks very beautiful, very attractive, but it is deceiving. It deceives us. I'll give you an example. In Raj Yoga, we practice early morning meditation. Right? We get up at like 4 to 4:45. And at that time, it's very nice and cool.
Yeah.
So then this Maya means it's just my own weakness, which comes like nice thought. It's so nice and cool. Let me just sleep a little more, 5 more minutes. And that 5 more minutes means another hour is gone. Or I put the snooze button on. So something that deceives me from my self-progress, that stops me from connecting to the truth within and to God. That stops me, like I gave you the example of the person who's compromising his principles by taking bribery. That's attractive. It's shortcuts. Somebody gives you an answer paper of all the exams questions, and I use that. I might pass the exam.
So
But did I learn any? Did I gain any knowledge?
So you have given a very nice example of earlier days. If they give the bribes, they say, I am family member, I will not take. It's true.
Exactly.
And after some years, the
They
Other
take
person
bribery.
taking bribe.
Because I
That
am a
means
member.
you're talking about the Ravana was very small. Now Ravana has become a big. See, you can see before 10 years of now, what is the position of the world?
Yeah.
All are little contented. Now,
With little we were content.
yeah, little we content.
Yeah.
Now,
We didn't have internet. We didn't have television.
Nothing.
I didn't. Oh yeah, we had. Maybe it was like
So
3
that-
or 4 years when the television came home.
so everything comes, the vices also grow. That's why the examples were appropriate. And now the family member take bribe because they didn't say that it is sin. It is not correct. Now
It's a
there,
necessity.
there is no reality. There is no realization of that it is a sin. This is a wrong
Yes.
thing. Now
This
it
is
is
Kumbhakarna again.
Kumbhakarna again. They are
I
sleeping.
don't realize.
Yeah.
And that just because everybody is doing doesn't mean it is normal.
There is a the Ramayana.
Think about it. If
how do we-
everyone lies, doesn't mean it is correct.
Valmiki के बारे में बताओ. How the Ramayana written by Valmiki. You know about that Valmiki? See, the Ramayana, the epic. Epic is called
It's an
epic. No?
epic.
The epic is written by Rishi Valmiki.
Slow down.
The Rishi Saint Valmiki. It's a very interesting story. He was a dacoit.
You know
the
what's a
saint,
dacoit?
Earlier he was a dacoit,
Bandit.
bandit. And he used to kill the people or threaten people and snatch everything from them. But
As they cross
the
the
travelers,
forest.
travelers go. So one day, when Saint does ask him, why are you doing this? So
Why
he
are you
told-
looting us?
Yeah, so he
No?
told that I do have my family, my wife, my children, everything with me. So I have to feed them. Then the saint asks, you go to ask them, okay, you are
Will
doing
they-
this, it is for you. Now we can
Hmm.
explain it.
So the saint tells the this dacoit or the bandit that, okay, if you're doing it for their sake, go and find out, will they be shareholders in your karma? Are they okay to take your karma share because you are doing this negative? So he goes and asks his wife, his children, I'm doing this for your sake. Will you be shareholder in this negative act? And everyone said, no, this is not our karma, it is your karma. And that brought a lot of realization in him. And he becomes a saint. And
Yes.
right, that's the story which goes on to that. See, all these are story, but we need to connect it to this time. What is the message behind that? What is the spiritual content in it that we can take today and imbibe? That is, go shift from ritual to spiritual. Mhm. It's not just I fast, but I need to fast here. And it's not that I just discipline. Okay, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to be lustful this week. But free from here. Discipline the mind. Think what is positive. Think about the truth. That is needed.
If
Then
you're,
we can say,
if you're away from the positivity or remembrance
yeah,
of the remembrance of God
Mhm.
or any deity, automatically the Maya will enter. Very simple. Simple. Okay.
Mhm. So we have a traffic control going on. So just take a moment to soak in whatever you've heard so far. Just connect to the truth within you. And connect to the truth up above, beyond this drama. And just feel the safety, security, and comfort in the company of the truth. There's nothing to lose. There's only things to gain. The soul feels full and content. Just wanted to check if anybody wants to share something, comment, ask anything that stood out for you through this conversation. Anybody?
Om Shanti and good evening.
Liz.
Liz.
Yes, Sister Liz.
Okay, I have a comment to make. I completely agree with you, not because everybody's doing it means it is right. And there's a beautiful saying that captures that right is right even if nobody's doing it, and wrong is wrong even if everybody's doing it. But really, if wrong becomes the norm and it's normalized, then that normalized is what you're teaching the people who don't, well, not the people, the younger people coming up. So yeah, the kids, the next generation, that in inverted commas wrong, and because it's normalized, it becomes right. So how do you actually deal with that in this perspective?
Very
In
interesting.
a spiritual way. Thanks.
Very, very interesting question. And this is something, when the inner conscience is put into a dormant state, there's an inner voice which will kind of tell you this is not right. Because internally, we all know what is right and what is wrong. We know that we're doing a shortcut to gain. But I think I can only talk about myself. Once your powers and virtues are becoming strong and you have the determination, then only it is possible. Otherwise, it is hard. What she's trying, you understood the
Yeah.
question.
So where
Because
the
in
person should
children,
have the power of realization. If
realization.
he is what he's doing is wrong, that should be understanding from him. If they realize, then he can be changed. So we have to give
Create
that
an environment. It is hard because as she's mentioning,
Yeah.
wrong is normalized. That is everybody saying, "Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's okay to lie, no? It
They are
is okay to
take it
cheat."
easy. They are taking it easy.
Yes. So, well, things like this, talks like this, conversations like this will where it gives people time to think, give them space, safe place to look inside and self-realization. Did you have any other thoughts on that?
Sorry, yes. Yeah, I mean, that is the theory of it in terms of, that is because we are aware that there is still a choice of right and wrong. But, when, two generations down, when wrong becomes right, or if there's some people in society now who just really don't even know what is wrong and right anymore. And because it is being accepted, or there's a silence about it, it is now becoming a behavioral pattern. So I don't know if the whole society then just changed to accept that. And then the people who have, in inverted commas, self-realization become the outside outliers, or what they're called, really. So yes,
Very interesting.
that's my thought on it. Thank you.
I was just thinking that there are different levels, right? One at the intervention at a personal level, family level, community level, country level, and world level, what we can intervene. Suppose we are, if any one of us are at the have that kind of a power, position power, right? You could probably instill some policy interventions, whatever in each one of our levels, in whatever way we can instill, we can do that. Whether people are writing articles, and also we in Raj Yoga we learn power to face. Power to face is when something is wrong, you just don't stay quiet. You voice it, right? Voice it doesn't mean that I lose my dignity, honor, to be assertive, but not aggressive. If somebody is coming late to work every day is late. That's not okay. As a boss, you'll say, I'm going to tolerate it. No, you're going to sit and have a conversation with that person. This is our time. This is when we start. And there is a pattern that we're seeing. So I'm just thinking, and depending on where, according to drama, we are placed, we can take action. One, starting with myself. Starting with myself. Like, I can just be the light in this dark room, even if it's a small wick. it will be some light to one more person. And light will lit another light will lit another light. So starting with the self-realization, self-transformation, I could be an example and a sample. And if you're in a school, if you're in a family, if you're at work, where slowly you can infuse it. You keep buzzing the truth in their language, which they can understand. You can't force anyone to change, but you could inspire them to make a shift. Those are thoughts that's coming.
Here the roles of the parents are comes. Right?
Role
Because
of parents.
From childhood, we have given the
Mhm.
knowledge about what are happening with you in future.
Mhm.
So if the knowledge, so it is also our duty as parents too.
Correct. What he's saying is, you prepare the child for life challenges.
From childhood.
Okay, today I'm going to be bullied, and tomorrow I'm going to be faced with something else. It's not going to be of roses. Somebody is trying to say something. I'm sorry, I'm getting some echoes. No. Okay. So, what Brother Kaushik is saying, the role of parents also plays a very important role. How we groom them, how we make them powerful.
And they have to parents should take care of the company, which company the children are going.
Yeah, yes, parents have to be mindful of the company of the kids. Yeah, it's not that, okay, they're teenage or whatever, it's okay, they can make their choice. No, we also have a role to play, right? It's not just love, a balance of love and law as well.
So I want to tell.
Sister Elia, would you like to share on this? It's been instrumental for grooming so many and sustaining many. For this question, what you have any thoughts that you would like to share? Sister Elia, would you like to share? She's able to hear. Anyone else would like to share on this question? Or Sister Liz, you have any thoughts? Are you okay with these comments?
बच्चे को फोरम के बारे में बोलो, हम लोग शुरू किया। बोलो।
I'm okay with it. I just wanted to raise it to see what other people thought also. Yeah. So thank you.
Because of this reason only that we started the kids program and the teenage program here. Because things that are instilled early will go with them for their life. And it has to be done consistently, again and again. So important that the kids are groomed well. It's not just the worldly knowledge, but I also need to have this wisdom. Because ultimately, two people with the same certificates and degree can show up in an interview. But the one who has that resilience, the one who has that inner coping capacity and mechanism will be offered more first priority than the other. They will check your integrity. How is your integrity at work? How are your interpersonal relationship, which is not taught in schools and colleges. That is where we all have to play a role. I'm sure Tanisha and Millie and Sister Sherry are also there, would kind of agree on that aspect.
Thanks for sharing this idea, because when I was Sister Liz and you were and this discussion was happening, I was realizing about texting, because now the generation is texting very little with words or either shortcut. So that's will continue to live on, which we know the right way, like spell out your words and say it in a sentence. And now they just do it in a random short way, and the word is also short. So we can say that's okay and it's right. So we have to make that correction. So how are they gonna accept it? So that is something we have to groom them,
Very good.
that they know the right way. Yes.
One is how they write, and also check on the content. We
Yes.
use any negative words any foul
as
language.
well. So yes, a lot of negative in between. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's interesting, Sister Liz.
Environment that we are in. So what are we using? And again, going back to texting, till what time am I texting?
Yeah.
Is there any screen time limit? I remember in the Raj Yoga itself, when I started, our sisters would say 10, 10 kar bas. Means after 10, don't touch your cell phones, calls, emails, stop at 10. So
Yes, that's interesting for the new generation to go with too.
Sister Elia, say something. You're smiling away now. Go ahead. Turn on your video. There you go.
Oh,
You got you. Yes, go ahead, Sister Elia.
Om Shanti and good night to everyone. I'm smiling away because of the difference in the generation from our time to now time. When we took 9 o'clock was the latest, you could have used a telephone. You don't call anyone in later than 9. Now it's 10.
I know it's just Dadi Janki would say 10 kar bas. So that's how I remember it. But Moini says, stop at 9, take that next 1 hour just to wind down, reflect, journal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different generation with the technology from our time. In our time, when we train children, we never say, you shouldn't do this. Now, if you tell a child, don't do this, and you don't explain to them the reason, they will do that same thing more than once to see why they shouldn't do it. So you just don't tell a child, you must not do this or you must not do that.
But
You have
reason,
to explain and give them a proper reason.
it's not like blind
Yeah.
faith. Yeah, it's important. That's how they realize then, no? Then when it comes from that realization, then the shift happens. Otherwise, that's
Right. They realize what is right and what is wrong. Well, I don't know, but now generation, I'm out.
No, you're not. You still have students coming in, so you're very much in. You have to deal with all of this. You want to say something?
I'm dealing with them. I'm dealing with young people. So learning too.
But it is not like that, Sister Alia ji. In Gujarati, there is one famous saying, Garda vagar gada na vale. Means without the old generation, we cannot move ahead. It's a very interesting and very good story. Once fellow goes to the marriage to take his बारात को क्या बोलते हैं? बारात को क्या बोलते हैं? शादी करने को गया. शादी करने को गया, बारात लेके गया.
Oh, he took the procession of the bridegroom.
To get married with the girl. But there is condition from the girl side, you should not bring a single old man. Yeah, with you, all should be young. Okay, when they reached to the girl's house and start the marriage started, okay, they said marriage is over. Now say, but before you want to take the girl, you have to remove the water from the well. Now you have to fill the well with the water, with the milk. Now everybody is confused. How we can fill this much of milk into the well? Then everybody now they lost the hope. How we can fill the milk in the well?
How can the
This
well be
much
filled with milk?
milk, how from where we'll get? So everybody is confused. And if you don't do this, you will not get the girl from us. So now everybody is worried how to get rid of this problem. So the old man was very smart. So he's hide in the trunk and he was with the that
With the
processor.
procession,
He was there.
He was
Then everybody's
hiding.
worried, and the half night was gone. That nothing was happening. So that fellows come out and told that fellow, the groom,
Told
you
them,
go
"No,
and ask first. You first remove the water from the well, take out the water, then only I
then
will
we'll
pour
fill."
the milk. So that is not possible for them also to take out the water from. So the old man is always required. Always required. There's nothing like that. The generation is
So,
say
The
they are
moral
lots
of
of
the story is you are all wise. So the wise ones are needed, which is not there in the younger ones. So we take the wisdom from the elders.
because they have a good experience for long time. So they know the present also, and they are experience past also. What will going to happen with this new generation and with the so they
You
are
can foresee
yeah.
what's happening and you can guide.
so always
That's why we
required.
say your presence.
Yeah.
Your presence is important.
Even our India, see if our parents are having age of 90, 100 years, if they're lying on the bed, they are not nothing doing. But until she's alive, everybody was safe. We have the
The
bless
blessings of the
of our
elders.
so
That's
they are
the
easily
feeling.
moving their life. Once they're gone, they are doing nothing, but they're not helping to anything, but they have their faith. Oh, my parents, my elders are with me. So like that.
So
Okay.
you understood, na? Your presence, your importance. So each one's role is important. It's not that what we are doing, but being, being with your wisdom. Sure. 7:20. So we'll conclude with few moments of meditation. Okay. So let's just sit comfortably. And just contemplate on all the things that you heard, you experienced. And as you see the light in front of you, see yourself as that light. A light that is clean and pure. And as you see that light, just remind that God, our Supreme Parent, is also light. And each one of us feel safe and secured in the canopy of God. The soul has everything that it needs. Just feel that power passing through you, into you. And if there is any weakness, any defect, this power of God is burning away the negativity inside. The different heads of Ravan or Kumbhakaran is burnt away with the light of God. And where there is light, darkness cannot exist. Where there is truth, false cannot exist. And let us stay within the line of the spiritual principles and code of conduct, where I, the true Sita, the true spirit, am always safeguarded. God, the Supreme, adopts me, who was like a monkey. And with his company, he changes us into divine beings. Just feel the divinity within you. You are a divine being. Divinity, purity, humility is who you are. So just stay in this canopy of God.